welcome to part 3 of the Runabout USS Ganges build-up. I've been making some progress on the interior kit. We've got the first of the colours down on the inside, so that's starting to look good now. That is a combination of the Tamiya paints, which is the neutral grey XF53, the light blue XF23 and the flat white XF2. Now, to be fair, I couldn't tell you the ratios of paint that I used, as that was just mixed purely by eye. But if I get the neutral grey on its own, that's what the neutral grey looks like on its own. And then if we butt that up against the interior, the cabin there, you can actually see the difference in the colour. You can see the blue coming through, which is what I wanted. So that looks good. I've also decided that I'm going to make this build even more complicated for myself. If we look at the decals, you can see on the door panels that you've basically got the support braces that are in there. Now, they're not actually on the doors at all. So I've decided to add those details myself using good old-fashioned plasti strut. So I've had to order some more of this because I just needed different widths of this. The thickness of it, the 0.3mm, is absolutely perfect for this kit, but I did need 0.75 and 1mm, whereas this one is just 0.5mm. So I need to wait for that to come in before I can actually start doing all that kind of detail to the doors. One of the other things that I have also decided to do is these little bobbles on each side here, they're meant to be lights. So I've decided that I'm going to light those. A bit of a brave move. So what I'm using is the clear sprue from the model kit. And what I've done is I've basically shaved that down, or sorry, not shaved, I've filed that down to the correct size and rounded the straightened the edges up on that, and I've then frosted it. So that I'll remove those parts there, and then that will just take its place. So that should hopefully look good, and I will use one of the small SMDs that I've got. It'll most probably be the gold and white one that I put in there, and I'll most probably end up running it off of a 10k resistor, but I just double check that to see. But once that's in place over the top, that should also help to disperse the light now it's been frosted. So I just need to cut this down a little bit further, but I'll wait until I've got all of the braces in first before I start mucking about with that bit. So that should be alright. So this is going to, the interior kit, by the looks of it now, is going to take me a little bit longer than originally planned. But I would just, building this, I would just like to go to that little bit of extra detail and that little bit of extra trouble just to make sure that the detail looks good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the detail on these decals, but they do come across as being sort of 2D, and these should sort of have depth to them. That's why I want to build them out of the plasti strut. So I've ordered that, and hopefully that should be back with me in the next couple of days. But in the meantime, there's still enough work for me to carry on with on the interior kit. So what I'll do is I'm going to crack on and get some more work done to the interior, all the stuff that I can do. Once I've done that, I will come back to you. Okay, so working on the rear bulkhead for the cockpit. So what I've done so far to this is I removed the doors, and I've left a little lip on each side. There's about 3mm lip on each side. And what I'll do when the plasti strut comes in, I'll just put a little edge in on each side and get some more details on there with a little bit more plastic strut, and then just basically tidy it all up and then repaint it. I've also removed the lights that were on there and then drilled them out ready for the SMDs to go in place, and I've also drilled the channels on the backside to let the wires run through. This again on this side I'll just fill in with a little bit of plastic strut when that comes in, and then once that's done I'll then be able to go over that with a little bit of squadron putty or something like that, just to hide the seams on that, and then sand it down and repaint it. So that'll look pretty good. And I've also been working on the piece of plastic, the clear sprue, for the lights that will go in there. So that's what that's looking like now. Basically all I did was I put that on my file and just rubbed it back up and down and forth until such time that I'd got it to the size that I required. What I've done at the moment on this is one half of this, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this on camera or not, to be fair, you might from that angle, but this half I've frosted, and this half of the part I've actually polished with the polishing stick. So all I did is I went over it with this section here, which is really fine, and then went over it again with that section there, which is even finer. And between the two of those it does help to remove all the scratches. And then on this side it's really smooth, and I just rubbed it up and down on this until it become sort of polished like glass really. The reason why I've done that is because I want to experiment with the light that come through from both parts to see which one is going to give me the better light. So if I get the torch, if we do the polished section first, so if we get the polished section there, and that's the kind of light that we're getting through that. And then if we turn it around and then put the frosted side up against it, you can see that you're getting a slightly different type of light coming through there. Still a little bit washed out on the screen, but the frosted does give you a bit more of a subdued light level to it. So I'll most probably end up going with frosted on both sides. So it'd just be a case of, whoop, I just dropped that piece of plastic now, so it'd just be a case of, well, that piece of plastic is just frosting it completely on both sides, and that'll be fine, and then just cutting it down to size to fit those. That part will be done once this bulkhead's been completely painted though, and the back part's been done. I'm not going to bother putting the clear plastic on there until that's done. So that's about it for the moment, guys. Once I've got some more progress on this kit, I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've been working on the cockpit area. We've got quite a bit of work done to this now so far. We've got the chairs painted in the XF66, which is the light grey. The weapons console and the computer consoles at the front, they've been painted in the sky grey. And then the recessed floor panels that we've got in there now, they were painted in the XF2, and then the decals put over the top of those just to help bring out the panels there. So all in all, it's not looking too bad at the moment. We're just still waiting for the decals to dry. None of these are actually in place at the moment. As soon as the decals have dried, I will go back over those again with a clear gloss coat just to help seal them in and to protect them. So I'll just give you a closer look at the cabin, and you'll be able to see that it's not looking too bad there. We've got our trusty little figure in. He still needs to be worked on, to be fair. but that's okay, it's not a problem. Here'll be one of the last things I do for the cockpit. I'll just show you the side panels that would go down this side and this side here. So that's what they're looking like now. So they've got their little consoles on, and then it's the same with the other one. Whoops, for the other side, if I can pick it up. They're a little bit fiddly. So that's what that's looking like. And then we've got the side doors for the cockpit area. Again, I can't really do anything with these now because I do need to get the plastic strut in so I can do all of the paneling on them. So they're looking quite good. We've also got some work done to the rear cabin area. I'm not sure whether you're going to actually see that on camera, to be fair, but that's actually a mauve that I've mixed up. Basically used the XF7 and the which is a flat red, and the XF23 for that to make a purple. And once I made the purple, I put in the XF2 to actually bring it down to a mauve, and that's what it calls for. And I've looked at the reference pictures online, and that is a mauve in there. So all I need to do now is just go in, and these the lighting panels will just need to be done in the ivory colour that I've chosen. That's a Humbrol acrylic, which is a number 41. So I just need to go in to do the ivory on those parts, and also on these parts. I'm not sure, well actually I'm not sure at the moment whether I'm going to do those in ivory or grey. But these little panels down the side there, and that one at the back there, and also that one there, they will be definitely done in ivory. And this is what the cabin roof is looking like at the moment. So we've got the ivory on this side. That is actually a gloss paint, but what I do need to do once I've completely finished this is just go over it again with a matte clear varnish, and that will then take the shine away from those. So this just needs a little bit more work in some areas before I put the matte coat on, and once the matte coat's on, I'll then be able to start looking at getting the windows in. These areas in here around all of the windows, I will need to paint those in a dark grey. I mean, if you've noticed on the TV show, these areas of the windows are always dark. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. So I've got pretty far so far, which is quite good. As I say, I'm going to be held up with a few areas because I need to get the plastic strut in for the panelling. But I'm going to crack on and get some more work done, and I will come back to you in a while. Okay, so I've been working some more on the interior kit, and we've got the chairs for the rear cabin done now. And as you can see, they're looking quite good. I've used the mauve as a stripe for the headrest that's on the cabin walls. The chairs have been done in a darker shade of mauve, it's almost a purple, and then I've used the ivory over the top for the little backrests there. It's kind of fitting, really, I think, for the for Star Trek in the 90s. I mean, they was always going for sort of like pastel colours and those sort of kind of mauves and purples, so I think it's kind of fitting, really. So they're done. The interior kit has now had the matte varnish placed over the whole of the interior, and that's actually brought the shine right down on these parts, and it's brought it down to the kind of the cream that I was after. So that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm also now, as you can see there, experimenting with the window panes. Sorry, the light paneling. So that's kind of hopefully the kind of glow that we're going to get through those. And as I say, I'm just going to muck about with the resistors as well to see if we can get that down any further. So I shall continue working on that until I'm happy with that one. The actual cockpit itself, I've got some more decals placed on just there, and also on the other side as well. This is kind of slow going really for the decals, because you have to put them on, let them dry, make sure they're all sealed in and whatnot, and then, you know, go to the next layer. So it's a bit slow on those. The cabin hatches as well, I've put the little white stripes on that they need. These are meant to be lights, but I don't feel brave enough actually to try and light those up. Well, at the moment I don't. I might change my mind and see if I can replicate something that looks close to those. I might see if I can light them up, but I'm not sure yet, so I'll leave that for the minute. I don't want to make too much work for myself at this stage. And then the chairs, I've put the little black pipes on the back there, so they're finished now, so that's looking good. And on here we've got the rear cabin door. Again, this has been done in the mauve, and then the ivory in the centre there. I just need to go in on the middle one there, the middle sort of inner panel, and just spray that a different colour as well. But apart from that, that's actually looking quite good. And by the time we've got the detail on there for the panelling, that should pop out. We've also got the bunk beds done as well. I just need to put the decals in them now, and they'll be fine. So that's those bits. This is the rear cabin. Hopefully now you might be able to see, now we've got some different colours in there, you might be able to see the mauve that's coming through. As I say, it is quite pale. So what we've done is on the inside we've used light ghost grey, which is again, it's a Humbrol acrylic paint. For that, that's a 127 in the Humbrol range, but I just feel that that was the best paint to use, and plus the fact the light ghost grey is the one that I'm going to be using for the external side of the the ship as well. I've also gone in, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see it at all, but again, on the insides of these windows I've gone in with a dark grey, which is the XF24, just to darken up the window panels. I'm not so worried about the paint splodges on the outside, because you're not going to see that anyway, so that's fine. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm just going to continue working on the rear bulkhead for the cockpit. I'm just trying to get the paint sorted out on that one. It's proving to be a bit tricky because of all of the curves on it. It's pretty hard to mask off, so that's a bit of trial and error, that one. But we're almost there now. Just about everything is painted that needs to be painted. So I'm going to be turning my attention to my little figure soon, my little man. He's going to need to be sorted out. I'm going to need to amputate his arm, and then reattach it at a different angle. I will knock him out first, I promise. But yeah, I just need to sort him out, get his uniform painted on. I'm going to see if I can try and get rid of some of the detail that's on his chest as well, for the lapels on the collar and the tie, etc. See if I can get rid of some of that. I might need to use a little bit of putty somewhere on that, but I think we can get him looking fairly good. So that's cool. So that's about it for this video, guys. I will catch up with you in the next one with some more progress on this kit. Until then, thanks for watching, and please do take care.